Hey you guys, this is Firekicks Studios here, and I'm doing this reaction video to a video called Film Theory, the secret ingredient of SpongeBob's Krabby Patty. The reason why I am doing this reaction is because I used to watch the show as a kid, and it brings back memories that I used to go to my grandma's house every time, and I would watch this all the time when I was younger. So, I'm doing this because it's bringing back memories and stuff like that. So, and again, the name of the video is Film Theory, and the title is The Secret Ingredient of SpongeBob's Krabby Patty. So, let's get into this reaction, and I hope it brings back memories for y'all if y'all watched SpongeBob as a kid, so let's get into it.
I'm Geraldo Rivera, and you're about to witness a live television event. A massive concrete vault has been discovered. Well, tonight, for the first time, that vault is going to be open live. Holy shrimp!
Internet, welcome to Film Theory, the show that uncovers secrets with all the determination and success of plankton. Oh, shoot, that's not really a good thing.
They put a sea turtle in somebody from the friggin' Little Mermaid.
So omnipresent since its debut in 1999 that I think most of us assumed that it would never go away, which is part of the reason why the loss of Steven Hillenburg, its creator,
yeah, I remember that, Steven
was so
Hillenburg.
It's not exaggerating in the slightest to say that he gave us some of the most iconic characters, most quotable lines, and memorable moments of recent history. He is, without question, one of the most influential people in children's programming and current internet culture. It's probably for all those reasons that one of the most requested film theory topics of the last year has been from SpongeBob. Specifically, the question that all us burger lovers, sponge lovers, and spongy burger lovers want to know: Krabby Patty's secret formula. It's a question that's persisted for so long that it feels like it should be sacrilegious to try and answer it. But if there's one thing that film theory stands for, it's treating nothing as sacred. So today, SpongeBob is on the menu, and I consider it my honor to see if we can find out the secret formula that tickles the taste buds of our imagination, or if this secret will remain trapped in Bikini Bottom forever. The biggest problem with trying to figure out the Krabby Patty secret formula is that any time it comes up in the show, we run into some suspicious problems. These problems make it hard to pinpoint just what the secret formula actually is. We know for a fact that the secret formula for a Krabby Patty is referring to the patty itself, and not what's actually on the burger, because we already know the full list of what goes on these things. Or do we? The Krusty Krab is surprisingly fast and loose with this information, since as early as Season 1, Episode 6, the episode Pickles, SpongeBob reveals all the ingredients to a Krabby Patty with the works.
I can't put a patty on a bun with lettuce, cheese, onions, tomatoes, ketchup, mustard, pickles, and top bun together in that order.
Yeah, I remember that episode.
But then the story
I used to watch that a long time ago.
Later, we hear a different recipe from the Krusty Krab commercial shown in As Seen on TV, Season 3, Episode 7.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's pretty significant.
I remember that. I remember watching that at my grandma's house.
Tomatoes and onions, which are not underseas veggies. I'll give him cucumbers, since I guess those could be sea cucumbers. And this one has secret sauce, which SpongeBob didn't list at all, despite him describing a Krabby Patty with the works. Literally everything on it.
Can you make me one with everything?
Oh, and by the way, at no point is it said in the show that you need a pinch of Poseidon powder, like some recent rumors circulating the internet have been saying. That was a mistake on the fan wiki, and it actually has no grounding in the show itself. That's why you gotta be careful when trusting non-primary sources.
Exactly.
Though I will say, Poseidon powder is slang for cocaine, and if cocaine were indeed the secret ingredient in these patties, it would result in the addictive power and taste of love that the Krabby Patty often possesses. So maybe it it wasn't that far off. But like I said, no actual evidence of it in the show, because if there was evidence of it in the show, you know I would be all over that like Squidward on a vault full of Krabby Patties. Telling you your favorite cartoon characters are addicted
These
to cocaine
dang
is like my
friggin'
favorite
notifications.
pastime. So what is really going on here? Well, for the answer, maybe we can turn to the real recipe. Luckily, in Krabby Road, Season 6, Episode 1, Plankton dupes SpongeBob into joining his band, which gives him a chance to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula, and for the first and, to my knowledge, only time, we actually get a glimpse of it right before Plankton is caught. And what we see is gibberish? What's the deal? This is the official Krabby Patty secret formula kept in the restaurant, so why is it just a bunch of gobbledygook? Well, two different possibilities exist. Possibility 1, it's the real formula, but it's written down using some kind of coded cipher. And if Plankton had the right decryption key, he could translate that garbled gibberish into the real thing. Possibility 2, this ingredients list isn't real. Mr. Krabs is lying about the recipe. And if you try to break apart this formula, this starts to seem more and more likely. One of the most common ways to break a simple cipher is with frequency analysis. The idea being that if you have a long enough string of text, you can match certain letters in the cipher to certain letters based on their frequency. For example, a letter that appears a lot of times in the cipher is more likely to be a vowel like E or A, or a consonant like S or T. But when we run SpongeBob's Krabby Patty formula through a frequency analysis tool, we find these results. The most common letters are H and G, followed by S, F, and D. The frequency analysis tool doesn't suggest any possible solutions to the cipher. G, D, S, G, E, H, S, G is pretty hard to map onto anything when it has so many repeating letters, let alone a word that would actually show up in an ingredients list. Plugging that into a cryptogram solver, the only words that could possibly translate into these letters are kickback, gangling, tastiest, and elsewise. None of these are Krabby Patty ingredients. You can't have 4 cups of elsewise. Tastiest looks promising, but if you try to use that cipher to solve the rest of the recipe, you just get even more gibberish, and none of the other words work out. But the letters and their frequency could still provide another hint. You see, they're all letters from the middle part of the keyboard, and the two most common letters are H and G specifically, which are in the absolute dead center of the keyboard. What would fit perfectly with this arrangement of letters is if someone like Mr. Krabs
That is
kind of
weird, though. I mean,
that this was the secret recipe, so
why would he?
mashed on the keyboard to produce these
It don't make no
non-words.
sense to
And here's
me.
where Mr. Krabs' real secret formula starts to come
I mean,
out. It's
I
all
don't.
ruse. There is no secret formula. It's why the ingredients list for the Krabby Patty seems so variable throughout the series, both with and without the special sauce. Why the official patty recipe is a bunch of keyboard mashing. It's here that we learn a very important lesson about SpongeBob as well as our own world. It's not about the food, it's about the business. Mr. Krabs is a lot of things, and one thing he is not is an expert chef. But what he is an expert businessman. The secret to the Krusty Krab's success isn't his amazing recipe, but his amazing marketing ability. He creates.
I don't remember too much about SpongeBob, but
let's face it,
I know Mr. Krabs was like.
Krabby burger. Whatever, it's not unique. The secret
He was always loved money.
Marketing ploy doesn't seem likely. Just look at
If I
examples in the
remember it
real
right.
world. Technically, there is nothing about a McDonald's burger that you can't replicate at home or at another restaurant. Comparing the Big Mac to the Big King, these things are essentially the same. Most of the value from McDonald's lies in the brand that people trust. To produce 100,000 burgers per day at over 30,000 locations around the globe, all making it possible
man,
to go to
that's
almost
a
any
lot
city
of
in the world,
burgers.
see those golden arches and say, yeah, I know what kind of experience I'm going to have there. I don't know if I'll like anything else around here, so I might as well get the good old reliable Big Mac instead of taking a chance at that mom and pop hoagie stand. McDonald's brand is reliability. The Krusty Krab's brand is uniqueness. It's the reason that McDonald's spends $2 billion a year.
Good God.
You can make the best food in the world, but
That
if no one
is-
knows about it, you're going to go out of business pretty quickly. But if you're a savvy
That
businessman
is
like
a
Mr.
lot of
Krabs,
money.
for a $137 billion company like McDonald's, creating awareness for your brand is a lot more important than serving up patties. The best tasting. The Krabby Patty is the ultimate guerrilla marketing tactic. You start a rumor about your own franchise that makes it sound vague and mysterious.
Love it! Kind of vague and mysterious.
And then rather than spend money on marketing, you let word of mouth do the work for you. And you get people talking about your product without having to spend a dime.
Well, that sounds very interesting.
Don't think Mr. Krabs' tactic worked? SpongeBob debuted in the 90s and people are still talking about the Krabby Patty secret formula, trying to uncover the elusive bit of knowledge in a fictional show, a piece of knowledge that doesn't really exist. For a real-world example, consider the Nameless Juice brand, a brand of lemonade that refuses to actually put a brand name on itself and instead is just known for its mysterious flavor. The actual secret behind the fruity drink is that it contains some vegetable juice as well, which makes it about as unique as V8, so basically not at all. That said, the mystery around that brand has driven massive underground word of mouth. Heck, even McDonald's own secret sauce is just mayonnaise, pickles, mustard, and a few spices, but the fact that they call it secret makes it seem like it's more exclusive and therefore more in demand than it really is. So both in real life and in 2000s cartoons, it's not about having the Krabby Patty secret formula, it's just about having something you call a secret formula. And as a bonus in SpongeBob, it distracts Mr. Krabs' main competitor by sending Plankton on a wild goose chase for a formula that he's never actually gonna be able to find. The only thing that throws a monkey wrench into Mr. Krabs' plans, though, are his employees. Hence, he hires someone like Squidward, who doesn't really care about the secret, and SpongeBob. SpongeBob is honest to a fault, a real stand-up sponge, and he doesn't take kindly to things like fraud and deception. So if SpongeBob knew about the Krabby Patty's lack of a secret formula, he might let that slip, or feel guilty about implicitly lying to everyone every time he served up a burger. And so Mr. Krabs' solution? Slap his claws on the keyboard for a minute and give SpongeBob a fake formula. Make him think it's real, and don't worry if it ends up getting stolen. It sounds outlandish, or just a cop-out to say that there's no real formula and that there's nothing secret to the Krabby Patty that makes it magically delicious. I mean, we all remember how
I remember
Squidward
that
completely
too.
lost his mind the first time he sunk his teeth into a Krabby Patty in just one bite. I love Krabby Patty! Surely
I
there must
remember
be
that
something at work
episode.
here. And there is. It's just marketing once again. According to Aaron Garvey, an assistant professor of marketing at the UK Gatton College of Business and Economics, the way that people feel about a product is heavily linked to psychology and their brand association with that product. In his research, he found, quote, you could take the exact same product that you were thinking about taking to market, and you could put it in front of consumers. And you could change what price you were going to launch it at, and you could change what brand it was. And they would have dramatically different impressions of that product. And they would tell you incredibly different things about that product. That they thought it was made of different materials, that they thought it weighed more, or that it weighed less. So when Mr. Krabs
Yeah, I
says
remember that
the Krabby
episode
Patty's secret
too.
formula is what makes it so delicious, he's actually not lying. If he's created a brand association, created what is essentially a legendary burger, people will experience it differently. If what people believe about a product's weight or materials is dependent on the brand they believe it is, that effect is going to be just as strong, if not stronger, when it comes to totally subjective qualities like how good a burger tastes. The Krabby Patty secret formula might have started as a lie, but now the real secret ingredient is an ingredient that everyone thinks is there, but one that doesn't truly exist. But hey, have you ever wanted to be a grill master like SpongeBob, or a rich, successful businessman like Mr. Krabs? Well, whatever your career goals, I bet you're ready for Skillshare, our sponsor for today.
I'm ready.
Skillshare is where actual, real-life experts can teach you everything you need to know to fry up the best burgers in all of Bikini Bottom, or just make a fortune by managing a business that isn't a chum bucket. I've talked plenty about Skillshare in the past, about how they're a learning community where you can learn everything from production skills to YouTube strategies from some of the top people in their fields. But one thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that they also have culinary classes. Personally, I suck in the kitchen. Like, really,
Yeah,
really bad. But I am getting better.
I admit though, I'm not a
learning
very,
Skillshare. One thing
I'm
that
not a
I've
very
always been
good
nervous about is
cook.
when
I
cutting
can
and
cook
chopping,
though,
but
but
thanks to the
I'm not a
12-minute
professional
video, Knife
at it.
Skills, a mini class to chop like a chef, I am, well, I'm not a pro, but I'm slightly less awful. And And mind you, that has nothing to do with the class. The class is great. It's more to do with me. I also love ice cream, and there's a class dedicated to how to make gelato. Even more general classes like DIY food photography, capturing food in your kitchen, can bring out your inner hipster. And then once you've learned how to take pictures of your food instead of, eating said food, you can then monetize your photography chops with the class specifically on becoming an Instagram influencer. Yes, there are classes for you to take pictures of your food, and then other classes for you to learn how to monetize the pictures of said food. So why wait? Start raking in more than just sand dollars. Click on the link in the description below, which I'm also showing here on screen in case you're that person who wants the unique pleasure of typing in a long string of text into your URL bar. Watch out, ladies, this person knows how to spend a Friday night. And check out their premium membership, which gives you unlimited access to all of their 25,000 plus courses. It's an investment in yourself for less than $10 a month. And the first 1,000 of you watching to use the link in the description will get 2 months absolutely free. So go! Do it! Start the year off right by doing yourself a favor. Link is in the description, and while you're busy Krabby pattying it up, I'll still be here working on those knife skills. Oh, good lord, those blades are so big! Yeah!
That is so crazy. Well, guys, that was my reaction to Film Theory, the secret ingredient of SpongeBob's Krabby Patty. I know I wasn't talking much, but I was just sitting there thinking of memories of when I used to go to my grandma's, and I used to always go back to her room and get on her TV and watch SpongeBob all the time. And I was just sitting there thinking of memories and stuff, so. But yeah, I remember most of them episodes, most of them. And like he said, most of these restaurants are, when it comes to a burger, a burger is basically, made the same way, anywhere you go, basically. But, so guys, I will see y'all later, and this is Firekick Studios, leader of the Fire Nation. Y'all take care, stay lit and positive, and I will see y'all in my next reaction video, or my live stream. Y'all take care. Peace.